exciting. You'll find them in bone, in muscle tissue, in skin. You'll find them everywhere. But I really like this example of tissue renewal in the brain. You know, I grew up always hearing this statement that you're born with all the brain cells that you're ever going to have. It's actually not true. Our body has certain tissue renewal mechanisms that are working in the brain that actually help to generate brain cells throughout our lives. Now, not only does this help to generate new brain cells, but it also works to increase the number of neural connections. In other words, how many of your brain cells are communicating with neighboring brain cells. It happens through a substance known as brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And brain-derived neurotrophic factor is an example of tissue renewal in the brain. This brings about neurogenesis, the creation of new brain cells and increasing the communication between brain cells. This next one, mechanisms that regulate metabolism. I suspect that all of us, as we age, we notice a decline in this particular mechanism. But it really goes way beyond what's happening at our waistline, because mechanisms that regulate metabolism, they have everything to do with how our body is going to regulate blood lipids and glucose. And this is a very important aspect of anti-aging, to make sure that glucose and lipids are being metabolized properly. Now, the last one that I want to talk to you about is mechanisms that regulate inflammatory balance. I think that when most people think about inflammation, they think about maybe twisting their ankle and they get that acute inflammation. Inflammation is actually a necessary system in the body. It's responsible for some of the reparation that happens when we damage tissues. But the problem happens as we get older, this system becomes dysregulated and we end up with something known as low-grade chronic inflammation. So it's there all the time. And this isn't something that you necessarily feel, but it's a major accelerator to the aging process. So very important to support the aging defense mechanisms that balance out inflammatory balance that's become imbalanced. Well, that's a brief look at a few examples throughout the body. Again, please don't worry about memorizing these. I just want you to focus on the fact that they exist, that they're functional throughout the body, and when you have these functional throughout the body, they're going to support these youth preservation benefits. What I want you to walk away with understanding is that aging defense mechanisms are the body's innate way of fighting off aging aggressors. And to have effective aging defense mechanisms, you're going to have healthy gene expression to support that. And when you have that healthy, youthful gene expression associated with these aging defense mechanisms, you're going to end up with this whole body, systemic youth preservation benefits. Well, that's the whole presentation. I hope that you feel like you've learned a little bit about